It's good to be back with you tonight. Thanks for coming out with us again here at Talkin' Tokyo. I recently saw Vikings from the History Channel. Have you seen that? It's something, isn't it? Let's see, the main guy, Ragnar Lothbrok, the Viking raider, is played by Travis Fimmel. He's great in that role. And his wife is played by that beautiful Canadian actress, Catherine Winnick. And his brother is Clive Standen. I mean, there's a huge cast, and they're all very good. It's historically accurate, I've read. So I was interested in this. I thought, I'm going to give this a whirl. Boy, was I in for a shock. I saw this one night over dinner, and then I got hooked and I kept watching it. Now, as a little background, I grew up in the Disney phase. Okay? I grew up with Snow White and the Poison Apple. So for me as a child, violence was off camera. We hear Snow White taking a bite of the apple as the witch looks and she's enjoying her taking the bite of that poison apple. And then we hear Snow White fall, her limp arm comes into frame and the apple rolls and we see the bite out of the apple. Right? That was violence. Boy, have times changed. I mean, really changed. One night over dinner, I'm watching this, Vikings, and Ragnar's friend volunteers to be sacrificed to the gods. I thought, okay, they'll kind of pull back the camera a little bit. He's going to walk into a building or something. His body will come out the back and we'll understand. I mean, I expected some violence. It's called Vikings, so you think there's going to be something going on. But I thought it'd be more like battle scenes and, fighting, everybody in a field swinging swords and axes and heroism type of stuff. Oh, there's that, but there's also this stuff. The guy volunteers to be sacrificed. They show every moment of this. They bring him up on the stage in front of everybody. They slice his neck. They hang him up to bleed out the neck in the forest. Bleeding there with animals hanging upside down too. Everything bleeding onto the forest floor. Not a good night for rare steak, which is what I happen to be eating. Really. I mean, this show, and it doesn't end there. Now, I should have been tipped off just by the opening of this thing. First of all, they've got dead bodies sinking down through the gloomy ocean. They've got Viking longships on the top above the bodies sinking. You see the oars moving, people being killed in battle, an axe falling through, violent. And the song, have you heard the theme song? I mean, if that doesn't tip you off that violence is on the way, I don't know what will. Well, just listen to it. Do we have it? Let's play a clip from the Vikings theme song, shall we? Here we go. I mean, that is some pretty heavy stuff, right? Can you imagine? That's how the thing starts. More, give me more, give me more. More what, you're wondering? More blood and guts and death and violence. This thing doesn't end. Battle scenes, not just that. Crucifixions, people bleeding out in the forest, beheadings, of course. That's just de rigueur in this show. But the very best one I've seen so far, and I think it might be done, is the Blood Eagle Rite. Boy, is this a beauty. Fun for the whole family in Halloween month, I tell you that. Here's how it works. You put the guy face down somewhere, okay? He's stripped above his waist. You take the knife, cut down his backbone, open his skin, pull up each rib off his backbone, rip, expose all of his ribs behind him. And then you have access to his innards. Then you reach in and pull his lungs out over his separate shoulder blades, and his lungs, still breathing, are over his shoulders. So they look a little bit like eagle wings, and they call this the Blood Eagle. And of course he bleeds out and dies, and that's that. And I'm watching this thing again. And I thought, I think this is the end of the road for me. Except I realize how we can use this show. Okay, now work through this with me. Everybody goes to a job. Most people go to a job somewhere. Every company I've ever been in has a jerk. There's always a jerk. And you know the rule, if you can't identify the jerk, then you're the jerk. Okay? Every place has a jerk. And if you've got one where you work, This is probably how it goes. It's either the manager above you that refuses to give a raise. More work, more work, more work, no raise. Or that moron in your same department that never gets the reports in on time, never does the duties as they're supposed to be done, creating more work for you. Always a jerk, right? So here's how you use Vikings to your advantage in the office. One night, you invite the jerk over to your house, okay? That night, you've got queued up on the screen, the large screen TV right there in the kitchen, you've got Ragnar queued up to do this blood eagle ride on his enemy, Jarl Borg. Now, the beauty of this is the scene starts out all peacefully and nice. It's a dark night, beautiful forest again, full moon out, very peaceful and nice. So you'll lure your enemy from working with this. And here's the kicker. You serve whole roasted chicken, ribs intact, right under the skin, waiting for your big display, okay? You sit the jerk down at the table. Hey, let's watch a little Vikings, shall we? Start it up. As Jarl Borg is put in place and Ragnar's behind him and the slicing begins and he starts reaching in for those ribs, just as he's reaching in for the ribs, pulls one up, you reach into that whole roasted chicken and grab a rib, looking the whole time with sinister eyes over at your office enemy, and you coordinate with Ragnar, and you talk to that enemy from work. Maybe you might want to consider giving me a raise this year. If not, you never know what the consequences might be, right? Or that one is a moron in your department. Ragnar gets going on the ribs on the back cage, blood eagle right, you reach into that whole roasted chicken. Maybe you could get those reports in on time. If not, you never know what will happen. See? Things are going to change in a hurry at the office when they know this is what might go wrong for them if they don't change their ways. So enjoy Vikings, improve your work life. More from Talkin' Tokyo after this.